So this is the login screen. I'll just Okay, so if the user is part of multiple, say, companies within a say large umbrella organization, you can pick and choose which company you want to manage. And this anyhow organization structure we can create with the top node, as well as then the subsidiaries, then different departments and users within those departments. I'll just pick one. Okay, so as soon as you land on the platform, so what I'm showing you is the vanilla product that we have. So there are two versions of the product. One is Legitt Lite, one is Legitt Pro. So in Legitt Lite, what happens is customers, it's a SaaS, self-serve SaaS platform where customers come, they create their account. We do not train it. They use the base model, e-signing functionality, contract analysis, and all. And they pay on a monthly subscription basis. It is the same agents that I showed you. They work in tandem, um, handing on the process from one say agent to another to complete the end to end flow. But for Legit Pro customers, there is as such no product called Legit Pro, but we pick these agents, create the flow for the customer, custom train the different models that we have here. And if we have to integrate with the different other existing ERPs or systems with the customer, we integrate it. And that particular process where we have the implementation part, one time cost, as well as the recurring say cost of the user licenses, that's called Legit Pro. Okay, so what I'll show you is basically Legit Lite. But any of these agents or any of these functionalities, we can pick and choose, create whatever the customer requires for Legit Pro. Okay, so this is the dashboard that the user lands on. So any, if you have any notifications, it'll come here. I'll just click. Let me just hide it. So it'll just show you that, okay, there is one document where your signatures are required, another where approval is required. There is one document where you've been added as a collaborator. You can just click here and see these details. It'll highlight the new documents that have landed in your inbox for your action since you logged in last time. And then I can filter from here that, okay, I just want to see the documents which require my signature. This is the document that requires my signature. This is the document which these are the documents which need my approval, but this is the latest document that has come. It will highlight. I can see wherever I am collaborator, I have all the documents I have signed. So all those things you can manage here in this a place what we call my work. Okay, so now, as per your requirements or the customer's requirements, you can pick up that, okay, you just want to manage contracts, or you want to manage the sales stack as well. I mean, we can integrate with the CRM where right from lead to opportunity, then you can create the proposal, you can send out the proposal to the customer, create a contract against that proposal. So that's the sell side of contracts you can manage. And similarly, the vendor side of contracts you can manage, where you receive say maybe a bid from a customer, or say from a vendor, and then you create an agreement. You compare those with your benchmark contracts that you have. So I'll take you through the process. I'll just select contracts here. What I want to show you here is, this is a very intuitive kind of a platform where you do not even need training. You say that, okay, how do I review a contract? Click and it'll tell you the steps that, okay, this is what you have to do. Say multiple 4-5 steps. Go to the contract dashboard, click on upload and review. Any assistance that you want from the super agent, this is Lana. So even if you ask that, okay, what's the highest value contract I have, question mark, it will go through the repository, tell you that, okay, this is the highest value contract that you have. Or if you further want, this is the contract, this is the value, this is the these are the parties. Or if you want, okay, how many contracts are expiring in next say 60 days question mark. So it acts actually acts as your assistant, and over a period of time it will learn your behavior, that okay, these are the common things, general things that you do, and it becomes very proficient in answering those questions, because it knows this is the data, kind of the data that you require. We'll go to the details how you can create your dashboard, reports, alerts using this agent, and get those alerts in a scheduled manner, that every Monday I need these details, every end of the month I need this. So it'll schedule those alerts for you. Okay. So now, besides this, this is the dashboard where you can manage um, a lot of information. So, for example, it shows me that there are 169 documents on this platform that I have. Out of them, 501 are signed. How many are pending signatures? Which means everything is done, all approvals finished. I just have to send it for signing. Then finished at 21. Still yet to be sent for signing. Then drafts, expired. All these details I can see. These are some of the key actions that you can take. Some of the latest documents that you or your team would have worked on, it'll come here. And this is a very important section where the system generates the alerts on the documents which are there, basically the signed documents. I'll show you how these are generated and what these colors mean. And then again, on every page, Lana is there. You can, if you do not understand anything, if you want to get any information, you can just chat with it. You can increase the size of the window, decrease it. Now, first thing, what we suggest clients is that, and I know the first thing that we had mentioned in the mail was drafting of the contract, but I'll cover that as well. But what we suggest clients is that, okay, let's start by managing your existing contracts onto the platform, because generally the volume of contracts which is already executed and is being managed offline is much more than the we create on an ongoing basis. So this is the upload functionality, or you can check it out from my work as well, that okay, I have to upload and review a contract. So what you can do is just maybe let me just upload. You can drag and drop, or what we can do is we can bulk upload the contracts if they are in hundreds or thousands, or as I mentioned, we can integrate with an existing repository of the existing ERP or any other CLM that the customer is using. So I have imported this document into the system. Click it. Now, first time you upload a document, it takes some time, one to upload, two for the AI to analyze this document, but not more than, say, I would say 6 to 8 seconds or maximum 10 seconds. And then you can pick and choose what do you want to infer from it. I mean, document summary, key information, say maybe obligations and alerts. I want to chat with the document also. I want to do the clause analysis also. Click on continue, and within the fraction of a second it will tell you that okay, this is the summary. In a very concise manner, it will tell you that okay, these are the parties involved, and this is what the document is about. It summarizes the supplier agreement between these parties. This is these are the two parties, apologies. This is the scope of work. What are the terms? What are the milestones? What is the value of contract? So all these details at a very high level it'll show you. Okay. Then if you just want to go a level deeper, it'll again in bullet points will show you the key elements which are there in this contract. And if you want to check what are the compliance terms, you can do that. So this is the high level summary. If you want to deep dive, then is the contract analysis, um, the obligations and alerts, and you can chat with the document. So once uh, this information is extracted from the document, it always stays with the document. Even if I close this pop-up, it will always stay with the document whenever you open it. So the summary that we saw, it'll always be there. I can i can see the summary or um, view the document from the perspective of both the parties. So how does it look for Coles? I mean, what's the Coles perspective for this document? It'll give you from that party's view. And what is the perspective for the supplier? So I took Legit AI as the supplier here. So it'll tell you what are my goals and objectives, what are my rights and benefits. So all those details from my perspective. Generally, this is not available in other platforms where you can see the perspective from both the parties for the contract. And then is the clause analysis. Okay, so what the AI does is it picks up all the important clauses which are there in the document, and also based on the nature of the document tell you that okay, these clauses are missing from the document. Okay, so now this can be this is the base model that we have, and this can be custom trained as per the customer's requirement, because I mean it can differ industry to industry. For same customer it can differ from region to region, or from product to product. Okay, so for example, I can pick up say early termination fee. Okay, if I want to go to the details, I can check the details that these are the details. And if I click here, it'll show me the comparison of this term to the benchmark contract that we have. So there is a process. You can go to the settings and set up in the org settings, you can set up benchmark contracts against which you can measure your or match the details of the contract that you are uploading. Or you can upload your clause libraries, and it'll kind of measure the clauses which are there in the contract with the benchmark contracts that we have. So for example, here it shows against the benchmark the document clause says 7% of the remaining contract value, or 45,000, which is whichever is greater. But as per the benchmark contract it should be 1% of the remaining value, or 1,000, whichever is greater. So any difference that you have, because we have trained it on a certain clause library or benchmark contracts, and then I'm comparing it against those benchmarks. And then I can also I can also see the missing clauses. So one is the available clauses, and how different are they from the benchmark clauses or the clause library, and the missing clauses. So now this can help you create a rating of the contract, that okay, out of 10 how strong or how weak the contract is, based on how many clauses are missing, how many of them are matching or not matching with the say standard templates that we have. And then you can also check the risk and compliance. So basically right now it says the total value of contract is 1.2 million, and it has zero high risk clauses, but there is one medium risk clause which I can just go and see that for convenience, if either party blah blah blah, it is the same clause which I had actually changed, and in the benchmark it is slightly different from this. So I mean what I want to share here is, one, you can uh, measure it against the templates that we have, or clause by clause to the clause library that we have trained it on, and it can be custom trained for every customer. And if I have to say measure it against again the benchmark, I'll click check that okay, this version, this is my version 1, and this is the benchmark contract I have. Click on compare. What it does is, sorry, yeah, a new version, then I'll show that. I'll show that. Yes, yes. So next, what it does is it picks up all the say events which are there in the contract. I mean, by events I mean it can be a date based, time based kind of an event, a milestone which is there. And then what I can do is either I select them all, or I pick and choose whichever I want, and I can add them to my alerts pipeline. I click here, it'll add to the alerts pipeline. If I want to sync it up with my calendar, it can be your Google Calendar or Microsoft Outlook, whichever you want to use. It'll sync it up. And based on these based on these events, if you want to create a to-do list for tasks, you click here, it'll add to the to-do list. I mean, it is not adding the first two, because the date is in the past. What what now we can do is, if I go back to the alerts which I showed you on the dashboard, I have just uploaded one document. I can upload a dozen more document, 100 more document, or thousands of documents. What it'll do is, it'll create an alerts pipeline for me in a chronological order. That okay. And then we can color code. Again, this can be customized. We can color code that anything by default, anything that happens in next 7 days is red. And beyond that, we can, I mean, if anything that is happening next week, it is orange, and then yellow, and then green, because you still have 4 days to work on that. And based on it, I can assign those tasks to other members in my team. Say for example, if an invoice has to be generated, or a new phase has to be started, or a contract has to be renewed, I can assign it to any team member here. Then it will show me that okay, these are the people who are assigned to this task. Or I can create a new task also, that okay, generate invoice for Tesla. I can give the description. What is the due date? It is 31st. Who do I assign it to? Ravi. If there are related tasks, that okay, this is related to this particular task. If there are any supporting documents, I can attach them. If I want to sync them to my calendar, just click here, it'll create the task and send it out to the person for execution. Okay, so now this is a single document that we uploaded. When we upload multiple documents, I mean, as I mentioned, there can be dozens or hundreds or even thousands. This is the repository where we can manage these documents. So uh, by default, these are the system folders which are there. Say by default, whenever I start creating a document or a contract, it will be in drafts. Once I finish it, it will move to finished. And then if I send it for signing or approvals, it will be in pending. And once it is approved, it will be in approved, all the documents. Once it is signed, so it, you do not have to manage the folder structure. It automatically keeps moving the document from one folder to another till it expires. And it'll have all the expired documents. And if there are any rejected documents which are not signed, not approved, it'll be in this. And then I can create my own folders also, which can be, say, function wise, that these are my general contracts, finance contracts, or for a particular customers, this is for DLF, or this is for Maruti Suzuki. And then you can say manage the say access of these folders. You can create subfolders, folders. I'll not go into those details. That's the basic document management part. But what is important here is, we can create different repositories here, or sub repositories within this repository. Say for example, if I have to create a repository called vendor contracts for Middle East 2025, sorry, either I can create rules where certain, based on certain criteria, those contracts automatically come here, or I create this repository. I can pick from signed, that okay, these are the documents which I contracts which I want to add to this particular repository. It creates the repository. The AI engine runs on this repository, and then you can uh, actually pick and choose from this drop down whichever repository that you want to see. That okay, these are my um, uh, last year's contracts. And then the information that the AI has extracted, you can represent in various graphical representations. For example, I mean, majority of these are sales contracts, so it'll pick up that okay, what is the total revenue from these contracts, what are the milestone payments, what are the one time payments. It'll intelligently pick up those details and create and segregate them into under these headers. And then you can also create your revenue targets also, that okay, these are my targets, out of which this I've already signed, and then you can use it for managing your say sales pipeline also. Similarly on vendor side, that okay, this is the yearly budget that I have, out of which this is I mean what I have already consumed. If I renew these contracts, another bunch of this budget will be consumed. And then you can build say you can take decisions based on these details. Not only this, you can create these subsections on the dashboard, that okay, maybe based on the duration of contracts, which is my longest contract, which is my shortest contract, again the subcategories of these contracts, what type of contracts are there, which are legal jurisdictions I have signed these contracts. And the AI automatically picks it up. It'll show you how many contracts you have in the US, how many contracts you have in say Middle East or Dubai. So all these details. And then we can train, as I said, train the AI to uh, not only rate the contracts, that okay, out of 10 how strong, how weak the contract is, and also by clause, that okay, what is the strength of this clause in the repository across various contracts. So all those details. And on top of it, you can again chat with Lana to check all the information. Say if there is a particular clause that you want to see, that how many contracts have this clause. You can ask that okay, can you give me the list of contracts that have this particular clause. And this section, if you see, um, we can, I mean, it shows you the high level information, that how many expired contracts are there, how many are expiring soon, what is the total invoices that I've generated, how many. You can integrate with an external system, for example your accounting system, fetch that information. I mean, right now it is not integrated. It'll tell you that okay, against the contracts that we have in the repository, how many of the invoices have been sent, how many of them have been raised, or how many of them are pending. Then based on the payment history of the customer, or against that contract, how many payments are missing, or how many milestones are delayed, we can create the health of the contract and show you that okay, how many contracts are in red, how many are in amber, how many are in green. Similarly, based on the invoice, that okay, I mean, we know that there is a customer that is habitually delaying the payments. So even when you create a invoice, we already tell that okay, you can manage here, that okay, these are my high risk invoices, these are my medium risk invoices. And this is just an example. As per the requirement of the customers, we can create this dashboard on top of the repository. And then further these detailed dashboards with subsections for the customers requirements. Say for example, if I have to ask that okay, how many contracts are expiring in next say 60 days, it'll tell me the details of those contracts. Yeah. And if I want that okay, I want to set up an alert or create a report, that okay, this information send me say between 12th and say 30th. If I want daily, send me before say 10 a.m. or whatever time I want to schedule, or weekly or monthly or yearly or quarterly, however you want to schedule. It'll create that report, send it out to you in mail, as well as send you a notification on the application itself, that okay, these are the details of your query, until you kind of tell it to not to send you the those details. And further you can create those sections if the information is important, that okay, in this section just show me the contracts, always show me the contracts that are expiring in next 30 days. So these kind of customizations, even at the user level, you can do further. I mean, we can also customize it. So this is basically a high level view of managing existing contracts. Before we go to creation or drafting of new contracts and the complete approval and signing process, I would, if you have any questions on managing existing contracts, kind of reviewing them clause by clause or against benchmarks, or say any other details, I would love to answer those questions.